Right now, as you watch this video, somewhere in America, a city's water system is one event away from total failure. Not in some dystopian movie, not in a third world country. Right here, right now, in cities that millions of Americans call home. And here's what nobody is telling you. When the grid goes down, and it will go down, your municipal water system has between 24 and 72 hours before the taps run dry. That's it, 72 hours. So today, I'm going to show you the 5 most vulnerable cities in America. Cities that will lose water first. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly what to do if your city is on this list. Stay with me to the end, because the solution I'm sharing in the last few minutes of this video could literally save your family's life. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Paul, and on this channel we talk about real preparedness. Not fear-mongering, not conspiracy theories, just cold, hard facts and practical solutions. Today's topic hit close to home for me, because a few years ago, I lived in one of these cities, and I had no idea how fragile our water supply actually was. Most Americans take water for granted. You turn the tap, water comes out. Simple, right? Wrong. What you don't see is the incredibly complex and incredibly aging infrastructure holding that system together. We're talking about pipes that are 50, 60, even 100 years old. Pumping stations powered entirely by the electrical grid. Water treatment facilities with no backup power. One solar flare. One cyber attack. One major storm. And the whole thing collapses. Let's break this down, starting with why water fails when the grid fails. Here's the thing most people don't understand about modern water systems. Municipal water doesn't flow by gravity alone. It flows because of electric pumps. Those pumps run 24/7, 365 days a year, pushing water through hundreds of miles of pipes, maintaining the pressure that gets it to your tap. When the grid goes dark, those pumps stop immediately. Now, most systems have elevated water towers, those big round tanks you see on city outskirts. Those give you maybe a few hours of gravity-fed pressure. After that, nothing. And it gets worse. Even if power is restored, the water treatment plant has to restart from scratch. Filters need to be sanitized. Chemical balances need to be recalibrated. That can take days. Meanwhile, with no pressure in the pipes, contaminants get in. Sewage can backflow. Bacteria can bloom. So even when water comes back on, it might not be safe to drink. This isn't speculation. We've seen it happen in Texas in 2021, in Jackson, Mississippi in 2022, in Flint, Michigan. The data is real. All right, let's get into the list. I want to be clear. This is based on infrastructure age data, grid dependency reports, population density, and emergency management assessments. These are facts. City number 1, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit makes this list for one brutal reason. Its water infrastructure is collapsing in real time. The Detroit Water and Sewerage Department serves over 3 million people across southeastern Michigan. And a significant portion of those pipes were laid before World War II. We're talking 80-plus-year-old infrastructure, serving a city that has lost over 60% of its population, meaning less tax revenue, less maintenance, more failures. In 2023, the city reported over 2,400 water main breaks. That's roughly 6 breaks per day in peak winter months. When a major grid event hits, Detroit's aging pump stations, many of which lack sufficient backup generation, will struggle to maintain pressure almost immediately. If your family is in the Detroit metro area, pay close attention to the solution section at the end of this video. City number 2, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix is a different kind of vulnerable, and in some ways, more dangerous. This city of 1.6 million people exists in a desert. It has no local freshwater source. Everything, and I mean everything, depends on the Colorado River, the Salt River, and groundwater wells. Here's the problem. Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States, has dropped to historically low levels. In 2022, it hit just 27% capacity. As of recent reports, the situation has only marginally improved. Add to that, Phoenix's water treatment and pumping facilities are almost entirely dependent on the electrical grid. The city uses enormous amounts of electricity just to move water uphill from lower elevation sources. A prolonged grid failure here doesn't just mean no water pressure. It means the aquifers can't be pumped. The treatment plants stop. And with 120-degree summer heat, you're looking at a life or death situation within 48 hours. Phoenix is arguably the most grid-dependent, water-vulnerable major city in America. City number 3, New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans has been fighting water system failures for years and losing. The city's sewerage and water board has been under a federal consent decree for water quality and infrastructure violations. The pumping system that keeps the below-sea level city from flooding. Yes, the city is literally below sea level. Relies on turbines from the 1920s. When Hurricane Ida hit in 2021, the water system went partially offline. Residents went days without safe water. Hospitals were compromised. A major grid outage here triggers a compounding nightmare. No pump power means sewage backs up into the water system. The unique geography means there's nowhere for contamination to drain. And heat and humidity accelerate bacterial growth in standing water. New Orleans sits in a category all its own. A city where the water infrastructure isn't just old, it's fundamentally incompatible with modern grid resilience. City number 4, Newark, New Jersey. Newark might surprise you on this list. It's not a major media darling in the prepper world, but the numbers don't lie. In 2019, Newark became the first major U.S. city since Flint to distribute bottled water due to lead contamination. The root cause? 23,000 lead service lines running from the street mains to residents' homes. While replacement efforts have begun, the process is far from complete, and lead pipes corrode faster and leach more toxins under pressure fluctuations. Guess what causes pressure fluctuations? Grid instability. Newark's proximity to New York City also means it sits inside one of the most complex, congested, and overburdened energy grids in America, the PJM interconnection. When that grid strains, Newark is among the first to feel it. A multi-day grid event here doesn't just mean no water. It means whatever water remains in the pipes could be actively poisoning you. City number 5, Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is on this list for a reason that most people are completely unaware of. Memphis sits above one of the most pristine aquifers in the world, the Memphis Sand Aquifer. For decades, this gave the city clean, abundant groundwater that was the envy of the nation. But here's what's changed. Industrial contamination has been creeping toward that aquifer for years. A federal Superfund site, the Byhalia Pipeline Project Zone, has raised serious concerns about long-term contamination. And critically, all of Memphis's water is pumped from underground using high-capacity electric pumps. There is no surface water backup, no river intake, no alternative source. When the grid goes down, Memphis's water pumps stop completely. The aquifer might be full, but it's completely inaccessible without electricity. Within 24 hours, water pressure begins dropping across the city. Memphis is proof that even cities with abundant water resources are dangerously vulnerable when the grid fails. What this means for you now, I know what some of you are thinking. I don't live in any of those cities. I'm fine, and you might be right. But here's what I want you to understand. These 5 cities represent a pattern, a nationwide pattern of grid-dependent water infrastructure with aging pipes, minimal backup power, and fragile supply chains. The American Society of Civil Engineers gives U.S. drinking water infrastructure a C- grade, C-, and that was their charitable assessment. There are over 2 million miles of water distribution pipes in this country. Hundreds of thousands of them are over 50 years old. The question isn't whether your water system is vulnerable. The question is, when something goes wrong, how long will it take to affect you? For most Americans, the honest answer is less time than you think. So let's talk about what you can actually do about this. The garage solution, water prep that actually works. This is what sets this video apart from every other doom and gloom water crisis video out there. Because I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to prepare you. Here's the deal. Prepping for water doesn't require a bunker. It doesn't require a farm in the mountains. You can do it in your garage. Right now. This week. Let me walk you through the exact system I use and recommend for any household within 50 miles of a major city. Step 1. The 72-hour minimum FEMA recommends 1 gallon of water per person per day. That's their minimum. I recommend 2 gallons per person per day when you factor in cooking, hygiene, and pets. For a family of 4, that's 8 gallons per day. For 72 hours, the critical window, you need 24 gallons on hand at minimum. You can accomplish this today with nothing more than food-grade 5-gallon water containers from any hardware store. Cost, under $30. Store them in a cool, dark place. Your garage is perfect. And rotate them every 6 months. That's your baseline. That's your bridge. Step 2. The 30-day supply system. Once you have 72 hours covered, you work toward 30 days. This is where most preppers stop, but it's where you should start aiming. A 55-gallon food-grade water barrel runs about $60 to $80 and stores enough water for one person for nearly 2 months at 1 gallon per day. For a family of 4, I recommend 2 55-gallon barrels, stored in the garage, out of direct sunlight, treated with a small amount of unscented liquid bleach for long-term storage. Add a hand pump or a siphon hose, because you can't tip a 55-gallon barrel, and you've just built a serious water reserve for under $200. Step 3. Filtration and purification. Backup storage is great, but what if you run through your storage, or your storage is compromised? You need to know how to make water safe. My 2 non-negotiables, a gravity-fed water filter and water purification tablets. The Berkey is the gold standard for gravity filters, but there are cheaper alternatives. It will filter tap water, creek water, even murky pond water into safe drinking water. No electricity required, no moving parts. Water purification tablets are your emergency backup. Throw them in every go bag, every car, every emergency kit. They weigh nothing and cost almost nothing. Step 4. Know your local sources. The 4th piece of this puzzle is intelligence. Do you know where the nearest natural water sources are within walking distance of your home? Streams, rivers, ponds, lakes. These are your backup sources. You should know where they are. You should have a route to them that doesn't require a car. Go right now. after this video and open Google Maps. Search for water within 3 miles of your address. Mark those locations. Print that map. Put it in your emergency binder. Combined with your filtration system, any natural water source becomes a viable supply. Step 5. The rain catchment upgrade. And the final upgrade? Rain catchment. A simple 50-gallon rain barrel connected to your downspout can collect hundreds of gallons in a single rain event. Check your local ordinances. Some states still have outdated restrictions, though most have now legalized it. And set one up. Filtered and treated, rainwater is excellent drinking water. For under $100, you've added a self-replenishing water source to your home. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. 1. The water crisis isn't coming. In many parts of America, it's already here. 2. When the grid fails, water fails. In most cities, within 24 to 72 hours. 3. You don't need a bunker or a farm. You need a plan, some containers, a filter, and knowledge. The families that survive any crisis, whether it's a hurricane, a cyber attack, or a grid failure, are never the ones who had the most money or the biggest houses. They're the ones who prepared, quietly, methodically, before everyone else was panicking. Start today. Even if it's just picking up 2 5-gallon water jugs on your way home from work tonight. Every step you take toward preparedness is a step away from being a victim, and a step toward being someone your family can count on. If this video helped you, do me a favor, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who need this information. And if you know someone who lives in one of these 5 cities, share this with them. It might be the most important thing you do for them this year. I've got a link in the description to a full water preparedness checklist, completely free, that walks you through exactly what I covered today, step by step. And subscribe if you haven't already. We drop new preparedness content every week. No fluff, no fear-mongering, just real information, real solutions. Stay ready, stay informed, and take care of the people you love. I'll see you in the next one.